Did you in fact commit those acts?
I'm going to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Have you ever solicited for prostitution in New York?
Same answer.
Have you ever solicited a minor for prostitution anywhere at any time?
I'd like to answer that question, but today I'm going to have to assert my Fifth Amendment rights.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. It's nice to have some things that you can count on in this uncertain world of ours, like the sun is going to set in the west, like the new Disney Star Wars series is going to suck balls, like Democrats will nominate a Marxist and then cry giant, salty crocodile tears when Donald Trump kicks their ass in November. The Trump curse is real. I say that as somebody who didn't used to believe in it, but now I really do. We've covered it enough on this program. Those who curse Trump end up being cursed, and it's really bad. It's getting very bad right now. Diddy's just one in a long list of examples of the Trump curse being real. Just a reminder, this is what Diddy had to say about President Trump just 4 years ago.
White men like Trump need to be banished.
Oh, okay.
That way of thinking, it's real dangerous.
Oh, it's real dangerous. White men like Trump. Notice he says white men like Trump need to be banished. Really? What way of thinking exactly, Diddy? Like the way of thinking that you use horse tranquilizers to drug your victims? Like you abuse children that are younger than 10 years old, little boys? Like that way of thinking? Because that's what you did. Is it just because Trump's a white man? Like what exactly makes this permissible? What needs to be, do you need to be banished, Diddy? Look at this accusation. Diddy accused of abusing 9-year-old boys, spiking drinks with horse tranquilizers. 120 victims come forward. Shocking claims. Bombshell allegations. An additional 120 victims have come forward to accuse rapper Diddy of sex abuse over a span of 25 years, with several underage victims, including a 9-year-old among them. Oh, it's grotesque. It's awful. He truly is the Jeffrey Epstein of the rap industry. We've been saying it. But man, does it ever become more and more true by the day? Another shocking Epstein connection. We'll get to that in just a second. The claims were made by a Texas lawyer, Tony Busby, who announced that he is representing 120 new victims who he believes is legitimate cases against the rapper turned mogul. Of the 120 new victims, 25 were underaged when the abuse happened between 1991 and the recent year. The youngest victims were 9, 14, 15 when they were victimized, high-profile lawyer announced at a press conference in Houston. This individual was 9 years old at the time. He was taken to an audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records. The attorney disclosed the individual was sexually abused by Sean Combs. Several other people in the studio promised to both his parents and himself getting a record deal. Oh, okay. So he promised him a record deal, then he abused him. Anybody getting like Harvey Weinstein vibes here? It's the same thing. I'll give you a part in my movie, right? Just let your kids come work for me. Do you know who did let their kids work for Harvey Weinstein? The Obamas. That's a fact. Michelle Obama did these big events with Harvey Weinstein praising him at the White House. Grotesque. These people are despicable. They're despicable. Combs founded Bad Boy Records in 1993, label that launched the careers of Notorious B.I.G., French Montana, and Machine Gun Kelly. Other boys were there to audition as well, Busby said. All of them were trying to land a record deal. All of them were minors. Diddy's legal team reacted to the news of allegations. Shortly went public. Mr. Combs emphatically and categorically denies the false and defamatory claims that he sexually abused anyone. Okay, well, I mean, you're getting sued by a lot of people for this. Apparently, there are tapes. He looks forward to proving his innocence and vindicating himself in court. Oh, boy. However, the promise of fame was leveraged over multiple victims. I mean, this is a lot of people, right? Like, these are tons of these, 125 people. Like, maybe something, I'm not, innocent until proven guilty, right? You're not going to hear me say anything nice about Diddy, but innocent until proven guilty. I think that's very important. However, I mean, 120 people, you got 120 people to come together and lie. Like, none of them are telling the truth. It's just scumbag Diddy who's telling the truth. Really? Guy who says white men like Trump need to be banished. God, that's the guy telling the truth. Another minor told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star. He needed to visit him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in private, Combs made the victim perform a sexual act. Thousands of calls with fresh accusations have flooded Busby's law firm. Wow. Federal indictment against Diddy. An individual 15 years old at the time was flown to New York City and attended a party. He was drugged and taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped. Oh, man. This actually matches the, if you read the federal indictment about like freak-off parties, what's part of that indictment is that these underage girls would be bussed in and then they'd be given drugs and then horrible things would happen to them. Fill in the blank, right? You read the indictment. Hard to like actually even say those things on the channel. Drugs were found in their system. Weird drugs that you would probably never heard of, the lawyer explained. One in particular continues to pop up called xylazine or trank, which is based on our research is like a horse tranquilizer. That is true. It's also a horribly addictive drug. Many of the new victims had previously told law enforcement that they had been abused, including some who cooperated with the FBI. Many had medical records and proved that they had been raped or drugged. Holy smokes. Goodness gracious. Working with law enforcement, the attorney said that the accusers have been weeded out non-credible stories. Okay, we were just talking about that. However, at least 120 new victims have cases against Diddy because they have some type of corroborating evidence. Wow. Okay, got it. Remember, Trump's the guy that needs to be banned. Okay. Trump's the guy that needs to be banned. Apparently, all of the people that are on the list that Diddy had will be revealed to you. Like, will we actually get a list? I mean, I'm waiting for the Epstein list, right? But I'll take the Diddy list while we wait. Okay. Sean Diddy Combs is just one of the many powerful people who will go down for alleged sexual crimes that took place at his parties. At a press conference on Tuesday, Tony Busby warned that the day will come when the names of other alleged perpetrators and bystanders associated with Combs' illegal activity. We will expose the enablers who enabled this conduct behind closed doors. We will pursue this matter, no matter where the evidence implicates, Busby said, representing over 100 alleged victims, Bad Boy record founder. I've said this before, and I'll say this again a million times. I do not care if there is an elected Republican on the Epstein list. I don't care if that's somebody that I've spoken, I have no evidence that there are. Actually, there's tons of evidence. There's a bunch of Democrats on that list. There's tons of evidence of that. You can see the photos of Bill Clinton 27 times, his private island. But what I'm saying here is I don't care who you are. It is irrelevant to me. You need to burn if you were part of like the Epstein list or if you're part of these Diddy parties. Apparently, there are major videos of politicians at these parties. Diddy Bodyguard said that the tapes of politicians at freak-offs claims the rapper learned from other music moguls. So his bodyguard, here he is right here guarding Diddy. This is the bodyguard. Gene Deal is his name. And he says that there were cameras everywhere and that there are tons of videos of politicians at these parties. Wow. Man, I wonder who those politicians could possibly be. What's the connecting factor here? What could possibly be the connecting factor? Boy, I don't know. Just make sure your cell's locked, Diddy. Make sure the little red blinking lights on the camera in your cell, pal. Yeah, what a scumbag.
Thank you. We're also following several breaking stories on U.S. soil right now. We begin in New York with the case against Sean Diddy Combs. He's facing sexual misconduct allegations from 120 accusers, including one who was just 9 years old at the time. Those claims will soon be filed as civil lawsuits. The attorney who took the case says other big-name celebrities will also be named as suspects. Diddy's being held ahead of his trial.
Ooh, okay. Well, you know what? Kind of funny what happens inside of these celebrity holding pens, right? Comedian Eddie Griffin says that Diddy is a dead man and won't leave prison alive after rapper's sex trafficking arrest. I mean, he is in the same cell that various other interesting individuals like R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell, the Madame for Jeffrey Epstein. He's like in the same block. What, will he be in the same block as the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, who gave him a key to the city? Was it key to cell block E? It's amazing. Diddy's list of accomplices will be revealed, lawyer says. The names will shock you. We look forward to those names. Suge Knight is a rapper who's in prison right now. He's a rapper who, on a very interesting phone call with Chris Cuomo, live on air, says that Obama has a hand to play in all of this, and that hand will certainly shock you. Here we go.
Do you think that Diddy can do so? Do you think Diddy knows enough that it's a very delicate balance, that maybe investigators will want to know these other names and greatly reduce his exposure to criminality, to time, versus what people would do to keep him quiet?
Number one, I've been knowing him a long time, and we was friends. We're not enemies, but we were friends. He's not a dummy, so he's smart enough to work his magic. On top of that, this man right here, he been involved with the FBI and most of his career. Shit, he got powerful people. One of his partners who started his company with drug money, President Obama, got him out of prison. So it's not like he don't have no moves. So I don't think nobody should just count him out. I don't think he gonna lay down and just crawl in the corner and die. He probably going through a lot of shit right now because he probably going through a lot of withdrawals for the drugs. But the industry got him on drugs. My artist, one of the worst mistakes I could have made was protecting my artist is doing a deal at Interscope. When my artist used to pull up in valet, the Murdoch building, they'd get out, they'd smell like weed. When they clothes would smell like weed. When they made it to any office, it would smell like weed. Those guys, for my artists, they introduced cocaine to my artists. So once they got on cocaine, once they got on drugs, once they got on alcohol, and that's when the weird stuff happened. And I think that's what took Puffy down that lane. Then you got to remember, Clyde Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Arell.
Simon, come on.
You better believe it. Alcohol, drugs. He compromised his manhood. Because he was taught that. He got Usher as a kid. They never recorded no songs, but alcohol, drugs,
Simon.
sex. Justin Bieber. And see, they do these things to take control. They're not doing, there's nothing wrong with being gay. If you choose to be gay, that's your preference. But they're doing this to people for control. It's a power situation.